Hello and welcome to the TextEvo project. Today we're going to be looking at KDE 5.25. We're going to hit the desktop environment and install it. But first we're going to take a little bit of look around and change the settings on the display here so we can get a better look at it for you. DIS in the search, down to display, over to resolution. My monitor is 1024 by 768. We're going to need 1980 by 10. Off the top of my head, 1080. There we go. All right. Frame freeze. There we go. We'll go ahead and keep that. I do like the wallpaper. Alright, click on the install system here. Let's get this going. Put our keyboard settings. We're going to erase the disk in this VM. Shake the whole thing up. Of course, there's nothing on it, of course, but if this was a real install, it'll end up erasing your disk and deleting all your data. Alright, here we're going to put in our name, our username, and the PC name, and our password. Make sure it's strong. Really strong and complicated. And it bounced back. Whoops. Sorry about that. So, this is the Calamars installer. We're going to blow by and unpacking the images and installing the files because that takes a while. It'll take about, depending on your system, anywhere between 3 to 10 minutes. So mine usually takes about 7. I don't have the strongest computer. My computer is a Intel iCore 5 2400, 16 gigs of RAM. With a, oh wait, excuse me, I had to take that RAM out, it went bad. 8 gigs of RAM. With a NVIDIA GTX 1050, the 1050 Ti, it's the one right below the gaming one, the G. And the name of it is just gone. I can't remember. Oh, alright. And we're going to cut out on this and we'll see you in a few minutes. One quick thing before we restart this. There's 3 ways you can test this out. You can either run it in VM, VirtualBox, for you Windows users, excuse me. You can download the ISO and put it on a USB and run it in live mode, which is what currently is in the VM. Or if you go to the KDE Neon website, they are partnered with Shells, and you can have an installation of the KDE desktop for about $5 to $6 a month. So I'll leave the link in the description for that down below. And I'll leave the link in description for the download for KDE Neon if you wanted to try it out. Alright, we're all done. And I'm going to unclick the restart. Never mind. We'll just restart it. And we'll go right into the environment. Right at the desktop. All nice and installed as soon as it reboots. And for all you Windows users, after you, if you do end up trying Linux out, this is a Vert Manager here for KVM. It's like VirtualBox, but better. Alright. Oops, wrong password. There we go. And away we go. Come on, come on, come on. Get on the desktop environment. VMs are just a little bit slower than your machines are. There we are. Alright, we're going to go back to system settings. Down on the bottom left here, you just click on that. Type in the search for display configuration. Usually the first few letters will bring it up. Bring it over to 1920 by 1080 so we can go full screen with this so you can see it better. And the last we want this, and of course we do. Let's go to the appearance. Let's change this to the dark settings. That way it's a little easier on the eyes here. And I'm going real slow, that way you guys can see what's going on here. A lot of the people like to just blow through it because they're so used to doing it. And if you drag it up to the top, usually that brings it to full screen, but it must be glitching in the virtual environment. Alright, let's bring up the menu here, and this is what the KDE menu looks like for Plasma. And if you right click down there on the bottom left there, you can see there's 3 different kinds by default. This one is more like what you Windows users are used to for, like, you know, Vista, 7, XP. And this one will bring up your menu into full screen here. If you look on the right hand side, how I'm scrolling up and down there, it's bringing up all the files and folders and programs there. Primarily just the programs. And we'll close it. Yeah, hit escape to get out of that. We'll bring it back to the default. That way you can get a better look at it and see how it works. Run through a few applications here. Not run through them, but, you know, kind of show them off. You got KRay, KDE, Wallet Manager, Spectacle, which is screenshot tool. And bring up the system monitor here, so you can see what the resources are in the environment. we're using 1.1 gigabytes out of 4 gigs of virtual memory, 2 processors, well, 2 cores out of my quad core, and the processes right here, all the daemons, or demons if you prefer, and the programs that are running. Alright, and for the version, this is 5.2.5.3, framework is 5.96, Qt version 5.15.5, and we're running kernel version 5.15.0.41 generic. Graphics X11. Like I said, 2 cores out of my quad core, 4 gigs of memory, and basically this right here, you just bring up the system settings and go all the way down to the bottom. That's how you get to that on the left hand side of the menu there. Alright, should we go into Discover? Oh, no, I wanted to show you help. Alright, this is the Help Center. Now, this is similar to Windows Help. If you want to know commands for the terminal, you could find, this is an easy way to find the commands and the flags and the usage for it, what it does. You can also do this in the terminal by typing in one of these names here, a space, -- help, and that'll bring up a brief description. If it's in there, if the man pages are in there, it'll bring it up. And basically what this thing does is just call out the man pages in a GUI environment, a readable GUI environment. And this command is make mkdir, to make a directory from the terminal. Basically, what that is, when you're in your folders, in your folders over there, and you right-click in an area and click on New Folder. That's what that does from the command line. And this right here shows briefly in how to install KDE Neon. And KDE Neon is based on Ubuntu, and Ubuntu is based on Debian. Now, Ubuntu is pretty much its own thing except for the base packages, base programs. Ubuntu does a lot of its own modifications to all the packages and stuff. They develop it specifically for their distribution of Linux. And for their flagship, their desktop environment is GNOME 41 and pieces of 42. Was it 42 and pieces of 43? I don't know. Yeah. I got to talking too much, and we're on the Discover the package manager. The package manager, so you can get programs. Now there's thousands of programs for free on Linux. Free as in beer, and free as in freedom. You have the right to look at the code, modify the code, and redistribute the code as long as it follows the licensing that particular program has been licensed under. Like right now, I'm recording this with OBS Studio, And anything that's media based for that, you type in OBS, you get a long list of stuff underneath of it too. And it does have Google Chrome. I don't recommend using Google Chrome. If you're going to do that, I'd prefer you, if I was you, I'm not telling you what to do, but I would use Chromium, because Google likes to use you as the product. You are the product. They use your data and they sell that and make profit off of you. And I don't like that. It's called telemetry. I would recommend Firefox, because they don't really collect any telemetry. I mean, you can opt in on the telemetry on it and opt out. Yeah, this is gonna it seems like I'm having a little trouble here with the VM. I've noticed. We'll go ahead and cancel out of this here in a second. I don't really want to install this. I want to keep it pristine, because I'm going to do a more in-depth sequence of videos on the KDE desktop to show where everything is, what it does, and how customizable this desktop environment is. Now, it is highly customizable. If you don't like a lot of customizations, then I would probably, and I'm going to do some videos on these desktops, would be XFCE, Mate, and Cinnamon. Along with KDE are the 4 desktop environments I personally would recommend for somebody to use. Now, if you're looking for an archive manager, pzip is cross-platform. It's on Windows, Mac, and Linux. Sorry, I just switched gears there, and I just seen that and I was like, ooh, I should point that out. I will be doing a actual distro review. I won't probably hardly ever do specific distro reviews unless they're specialty distros. I ran across, well, I've heard about it, and I never tried it, and I ran across, I ran across it, and I was like, I'm going to download the ISO for that. Because I've been having problems with a specific piece of hardware that I have. And I'll go into that in that video. That'll be the next video. After I do one more gaming video on Warframe. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. Now these are all the extras over here for the extra programs that you can get with KDE Plasma. And apparently this thing doesn't appear. Oh, I'm having a problem here. Oh, what's going on? Huh. It should be showing. Oh, there we go. I just had a little glitch there for some reason. It does this every once in a while. I think it's just the virtual environment, honestly. Because it doesn't do that in on bare bones hardware, bare metal. Back to the environment, and over here on the right hand, like Windows, you got your notifications. And that up arrow is your updates. Now, you don't have to update your computer. Linux usually doesn't have that on there by default. You can update it at any time you want to. That way it doesn't impede your work on what you're doing, or impede, like in the middle of the game, kicks you right out, like Windows does sometimes that I hear. You got your volume control here, your network, your system tray. There we go. It's like very similar to Windows. And that's KD Connect to connect to your Android phones. You can transfer files. You can pretty much run your computer from your phone. And if you right click over here, if you see the bottom, enter edit mode, add widgets, show alternatives, etc. There we go. Now I am going to, if you look right, actually, if you look back, if you've seen that in the middle, you can scale the size of it. And these are the widgets, and you can get more, but these are the widgets that come pre-installed with it over here on the left hand side that I'm scrolling through right now. I'm looking for a good clock. Alright, you can drag and drop this to the desktop down to your bottom bar. You can resize it. Alright, I had to get up and go do something real fast, and I'm back. Anyways, we're in the digital clock settings. Now you can resize it, make it bold, change the color of the text on the screen, all from the configuration button at the top there that was just up there. You can add astronomical events. Pretty much anything, well, not anything. I mean, it's limited, but there's a lot of stuff in the widgets. Alright, let's open up Firefox here. First time run. That took a couple of seconds. I think it's a snap on Kde Menu. Let's go to YouTube. Let's look for a video. Ooh. The child. I'm gonna have to cut this part out of the thing. Find something where I won't get in trouble for it. How about some Big Buck Bunny? Yeah. Now subscribe to that top left one off grid with Jake and Nicole. Total clickbait. Anyways. Big Buck Bunny, for those of you who don't know, wasn't made by was made by the program Blender. And that is a really cool program. I used to have a GTX 745 OEM NVIDIA, and with 4 gigabytes of RAM in this thing, DDR3, and it actually did some rendering. I mean, it wouldn't do super high quality stuff, but it would do medium. Alright, let's close that out. Let's change the first the desktop. Let's change the wallpaper here. If you right click on the desktop, obviously you can bring up the wallpapers. And you can, if you look at the bottom right hand side, you can add images or get new wallpapers. There's a lot of good wallpapers in the repositories for KDE. You can also go to KDE, the KDE store. If you type that in, you can go to the website and install stuff there too. Icons to themes. Alrighty. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. A brief, although kind of long, overview of the Kde Plasma desktop. And like I said, I'll do a series of more in-depth on the Kde Plasma desktop. If you noticed on the bottom, I talked about the 2 main servers before. I'll see you next time.